Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering the Testament of Solomon, chapters 1 through 5. And, it's going to be a spooky one for this Halloween.
Oh, that's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider the spookiness value.
We're going to be talking about witches and wizards and demons and spirits and magic.
And mostly demons and magic. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip this thing over for no particular reason.
When that timer runs out, you die.
Oh. Go faster.
Only 10 minutes, Lawrence.
It's got to speed up.
Won't.
Yeah.
All right.
Not for you.
So we have the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha by James H. Charlesworth.
Yep. This is volume 1. So we don't have any other commentaries on the Testament of Solomon, but you did send me some papers, which I did read. And after reading over the introduction in here, they do come to slightly different conclusions. There's a spider here.
Is it big?
Not that big.
Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, that's like a baby daddy long legs.
Yeah, it's a tiny one. All right, so they come to different...
Spooky! Halloween!
Woo!
Yeah, that doesn't happen normally.
Yeah, it doesn't. So spooky, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And they basically come to different conclusions about the composition of the text, because while you have some disparate references to a Testament of Solomon, it is sometimes unclear as to whether they're talking about the composition as we know it, or if they're just talking about a different form of the text.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where most of the disagreement lies. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of demons.
Yeah, and if you remember when we did our demon summoning, the text that I used was from Arthur Edward Waite's Book of Ceremonial Magic, but the specific portion was...
Was it from the Greater Key of Solomon?
Was from the Lesser Key of Solomon,
okay.
Which was a Middle Ages thing. That it used 72 demons, which apparently are related to this story in some way. So that's a little throwback for our longtime viewers. You can see the origin story of the demons that were summoned.
Sometimes I hear terrifying noises in the ceiling, more recently than not.
It's called a mouse.
Yeah, it's a mouse.
Yeah.
Probably
a
demon. Ooh.
A demon mouse.
No,
Demon mouse.
No, it's a mouse that gets trapped in this one spot on the wall, and Lawrence remembers that.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it sucks.
There's literally
Kinda sad.
nothing I can do. It's a wooden wall.
Yeah.
It's solid wood. I'm not cracking that open to save the poor thing, but
It's a shame. Yeah.
really.
All right. So, let's talk about this a little bit. So, I mean,
Speak.
There is some discussion over the date, and not the date. Well, the date too, but on the language that it was originally written in. Although I would say that the vast majority of scholars agree that it was originally written in Koine Greek, which is the same Greek as the New Testament.
Ooh.
This is spooky.
Spooky. Yeah.
So that one was just a quick one. Let's get it out of the way. It's a Greek text. So I mean, which is good for us, I guess, because if there is some textual note, I'll be able to understand it, I guess.
Somewhat.
At least a little bit. I could be of some help. So about the different texts that we do have. So there are a decent, maybe about a dozen manuscripts for the Testament of Solomon, and they're all a little bit different. So they can have the narrative framework, because like some of them have just some of the instances in which Solomon is calling upon these demons, but they do have the story itself that we're going to be reading through has this narrative that weaves all of it together. And that's the one being Solomon is going to build a temple with the use of these demons. Like he's going to command these demons to build this temple. So some of the manuscripts just have some of these calls to these demons, these commands, and then others do include part of the greater story for their use.
So which are the older ones?
The older manuscripts?
Yeah.
The ones that we have surviving seem to all be from like the 14th through the 18th centuries, I think. Maybe even a little bit later, maybe even just the 15th through 18th. So there's, like here's one that's a 15th or 16th century. There's a 15th century here, 16th century. Yeah, they're all from around that time period.
So I guess the question is, the more quote unquote complete version, is that the original from which the shorter portions are taken from, or are the shorter portions older with the more complete version being something that bridges them together?
Right. Well, that's the question. And there are some possible references to the text, and I'm going to discuss some of them here. So of course, it's purported to take place during the reign of Solomon, but that's not true. It's definitely later, certainly a Hellenistic text at least. But beyond dating it, like we can probably date the earliest possible date, so like sometime in the 2nd century, maybe. So that would be like the earliest possible one. Although it does seem like there have been traditions associated with Solomon using magic to control some demons for a while. So one of the papers that you sent me was arguing that there were some disparate traditions about Solomon controlling these demons, and then eventually they all came together where one person wrote this interweaving narrative for all of them. That was that conclusion. And because of all these different recensions that we have, differ in many ways, that was kind of a way to explain, how that came to be. So I think there was a reference from Josephus that talks about Solomon doing magic acts, although I don't think it actually references the Testament of Solomon specifically. There is a reference in the Greek dialogue of Timothy and Aquila. The dialogue, a Christian document from about AD 400, was thought by Conybeare to go back to an earlier dialogue from the middle of the 2nd century. During the course of the dialogue, the Christian applies Psalm 2:7, "You are my son, today I have become your father," to Jesus as Messiah, which is not new. That's happened a lot. The Jew, however, says the passage refers to Solomon and adds 2 Samuel 7:14, "I will be a father to him, and he a son to me," as further proof. The Christian responds with reference to 1 Kings 11:3-6 that the promise to David's son was conditional on Solomon's walking in the Lord's way as David did, but Solomon did not keep God's commandments. He sacrificed locusts to idols. The dialogue continues. The Jew responded, "Not sacrificed, but unwillingly crushed in his land. The book of Kings does not encompass these things, but it is written in his testament." The Christian said, on this I take my stand with confidence, because this was not made clear by the hand of a historian, but out of the mouth of Solomon himself.
Are you sure that it's not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel?
That's where it would
Judah?
be. But, I guess these guys did not have access to those either.
Oof.
Yeah, we'll never know if it was written.
We'll never know. That's why they kept asking that question. They didn't know either.
Seriously, can someone tell us? Was it? Was it
not?
Was it not?
We don't know.
Yeah, so the reference, so it does unambiguously refer to a text of that nature, the Testament of Solomon, right? Although the paper that you sent, or one of the papers you sent me, was arguing that this maybe it was different. Maybe the text that is referenced here isn't the text as we know it.
So this is not only pseudepigrapha, but also possibly named after a mythical book, right? Or a legendary book, at least.
Well, I'm not sure if you'd call it that. So if they had some text that mentioned, the locusts, and they were calling it the Testament of Solomon, and then over time stuff was added to that testament, and so even though if we still have the same name, like they're not talking about a fictional book, and neither are we, but the book has just changed over time, and the title would be effectively applied to two different books.
But if there was at one point a Testament of Solomon, and that book was lost, and people were just like, well, there was this story about locusts in it, and later on someone writes a new book, The Testament of Solomon, and includes a story like that, then it's like more than just pseudepigraphal.
Yeah, although like, it would have to be.
Know the difference. I mean, come on, guys. We fixed it. We got it back. We remade it.
The thing is, I'm not sure that's a tenable position, because there have been like references to this magical text for a while now. Although none of them alone really make it clear about the nature of the whole text.
All right.
So I would definitely say that that's pretty unlikely. So on authorship, of course, we have no idea. We can't even fully decide on a place for its authorship, although it's in the Hellenistic world. That's as much as we can say. There are a lot of similarities to like Babylonian demonology, for example. Like I covered the Testament of Solomon in my Lilith video, for example, because there is a part in it that talks about this demon Obazuth, which contains, and she has a lot of similarities to Lilith. And I do, if you want to go, listen to my full thoughts on that, you can go back and watch the Lilith video.
After this.
Yeah, after this, obviously. Don't go now. That'd be crazy. But I would say that there are certainly a lot of similarities. I think that is just more of an issue of it being the kind of world that they lived in. They still believed in these things, although over time more mythos, I guess, was added to the already existing mythos along with those demons.
So is there there's obviously some magical powers that Solomon uses in this to communicate and control demons, right? So is this a reference to a pre-existing ritual tradition or folk magic tradition, or is it a creation of the author?
See, I think that because the way that it goes about these things has a lot of shared similarities with older existing texts that we do have, I would say that it was probably just a development of these traditions.
All right.
That's what I would say. There's been a huge amount of debate over its theological importance, although I think we'll probably go into that as we read.
But it's not strictly like an instructional liturgical book on how to do these ritualistic works.
No, not necessarily. Although implicitly, sometimes explicitly, you can learn about demons or controlling demons by reading the book.
Okay. I wonder how similar it is to the Lesser Key of Solomon's.
Well, we could always cover that.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, at least. There's basically just been a lot of debate around this. I think Origin was also, I should have marked this one down. But Origin made some use of this, I believe. I think there was the reference. Yeah, okay, so here we go. There's apparently a reference to the Virgin Mary in here. And yeah, you have the reference to this whose mother shall not have sexual intercourse with a man, and then it goes on to say that the name adds up to 644, and he is Emmanuel. So it kind of brings in that old gematria too.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course Emmanuel, if you remember from the passage in Isaiah, has been associated with Jesus as well.
Though, for the author of Isaiah, that wouldn't.
Right. But for later Christians, they did make that connection.
Yeah.
So I think those are the main things that I did have to cover. Yeah. And then we can probably just get right into the text. There is a decent amount of notes on some of these things. And when I was looking online, I was trying to decide, like, okay, so where should the reading...
is that all notes for that one sentence?
That's not just... No, it's not for notes for the one sentence. Don't worry about that. It's notes for the name, the title of the section, the first part of the sentence, and the last part of the sentence.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it starts off not pleasant. And I don't think much of it is actually that important. Some of it is. But I think the title of the actual work only exists in a few manuscripts. And of course there's tons of notes for this one, because textually speaking, it's because all the existing manuscripts come from around the same time.
It's like the equivalent of having a paperback that fell out of its binding, where you don't have the title anymore.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Like, I can imagine with scrolls, they might have like scroll cases or something.
Or they were put in a rack.
Yeah, it could be.
And then they were put in the wrong rack.
Well, at this time, I think codices have already been made.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Although they could have used a scroll for this, maybe.
Dude, they lost
but
the codices.
But codices were already an existing thing. Even by Paul's time, I think they were a thing.
So, I mean, certainly by 1500.
Oh, yeah. Long, yeah.
Even so, a lot of those didn't necessarily have titles on the covers.
Yeah.
Right. So, I will get us started.
Great. Fantastic. Let's learn about the start of the story, I guess, which doesn't start off too demony, but it gets demony very quick.
Yeah.
Let's see some contrast.
In contrast to what?
How not demony does it start, and how demony does it get?
They're very
contrast.
different.
The Testament of Solomon. The Greek title. Now, there's numbers in parentheses in the margins.
Yeah, that confused me initially, because I was looking up, what chapters should we cover first? And the way that it was listed online was without their chapter divisions. So like every, I guess it was a verse by verse thing. So I was like, okay, I guess we'll do this by verse. But then they have it in chapters, so I figured that'd probably be easier.
So for this title segment, different manuscripts have different recensions of this, but they're basically the same. So, Testament of Solomon, son of David, who reigned in Jerusalem and subdued all the spirits of the air, of the earth, and under the earth.
He subdued them all. Let's go.
Through them, he also accomplished all the magnificent works of the temple. This tells what their authorities are against men, and by what angels these demons are thwarted.
Got a nice cosmic, I wouldn't say a battle necessarily, but you have some cosmic rivalry.
Yeah, so a usual demand of Solomon is that the demon identify the name of a thwarting angel. To know the angel who has the power over a demon is to be able to ward off the demon and solve the trouble. The demon Asmodeus later indicates that if men do not know the names of demons, the latter will be worshipped as gods.
Yeah, which explains the thing about there. I forget in which text it was. It was some text about Elijah, I think, and Lilith, and there was something about saying it's like you have to like say her name to get to have power over her.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, I mean, this is much older than Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, but the naming of entities or creatures or monsters or whatever.
Yeah, that goes back to Egypt too.
Yeah.
It's still in a lot of games, even regular D&D.
You know who?
If you know the true name of something, then you can have a lot more control over what kind of magic you can do on it and stuff.
Yeah, in D&D, there's a demon named You Know Who. And it's because when Gary Gygax was running his game for his kids, they figured out that if you said a demon's name, they would show up. So they started saying, you know who. So he was like, fuck it, there's a demon named that now. All right, prologue. Solomon's praise. Blessed are you, Lord God, who has given this authority to Solomon. Glory and power to you forever. Amen. Now, we jump into chapter 1.
Yeah, that was the introduction.
Yeah, that was the introduction. Orios the demon tries to interfere with the boy who helped Solomon build the temple. That's the name of this section. Chapter 1. Once upon a time. It literally says once upon a time.
I think the word that might be there is tota, which means like at that time, but maybe
it's a free translation of the biblical kai idou.
What is it?
Kaiidou.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's definitely not that. Okay.
Yeah. Once upon a time, when the temple of the city of Jerusalem was being built and the artisans were working on it, Orios, the demon, came as the sun was setting and took half the wages and provisions of the master workman's little boy. Also, each day the demon was sucking the thumb of the boy's right hand. So the little boy, who was much loved by me, grew thin. So
he was siphoning.
Siphoning, yeah.
Yes.
Vampirism of some form.
Yeah, he's draining their energy, and he's also stealing the money of the people who are working there, presumably in an attempt to prevent the temple's construction.
Yeah, damn demon.
Or because he's a dick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Solomon interrogates the boy. This is a new section.
Mm-hmm.
But I, Solomon, interrogated the boy one day and said to him, have I not loved you more than all the other artisans working in the temple of God? And have I not been paying you double wages and provisions? Why then are you growing thinner every day? The boy said, I beg you, king, listen to what's happening to me. After we're dismissed from work on the temple of God, when the sun is set and I'm resting, an evil spirit comes and makes off with half my pay and half my provisions. Also, he grabs
takes his money too?
Yeah.
God.
Takes his money.
It robs him.
And his food.
Wow. It saps his strength, steals his food and his money. He's just a dick.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, he grabs my right hand and sucks my thumb. You can see that when my soul is in distress, my body grows thinner every day.
I'd say.
Yeah, this his situation sucks.
Yeah, let's hopefully Solomon can do something about this.
Nope, this is sustainable somehow. We don't know how, but they'll be
Yeah, right,
fine.
it's sustainable. These terrible work conditions, they've got to be sustained.
Somehow, you'll make it, man. Just pray harder.
Yeah, I'm okay. So at the beginning of this section, some variant readings occur. One manuscript says Then one day King Solomon stretched out his hands toward the heaven and said, God of gods and alone King of kings, reveal to me the boy's complete torment for the sake of your fearful and all-holy name. Then a voice came, saying, Speak as follows unto the right ear of the boy, Daphon, Magata, Polypole. Then write these words on a piece of parchment made from an unborn animal. Commit it to fire and burn it up, holding also in your hand the grass called ivy and a healing stone. And at the 5th hour of night, question the boy, and he will tell you everything. When he had heard these things and performed them to the letter, Solomon questioned the boy. So the parchment from an unborn animal refers to a fine quality vellum from the fetus of an animal. A healing stone may refer to a jasper. Josephus reports that the Essenes did research into medicinal roots and the properties of stones for healing of diseases.
And that was in a different recension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. They give like a whole magical formulation to perform the work there.
Well, jasper does have properties.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep, it has properties. That's brilliant.
I wasn't sure I had any revelation on that. It's just a gem, guys.
Yeah. So now we're in another section. Through the archangel Michael, the Lord God grants Solomon the magical ring, which gives Solomon power over the demons. All right, so let's hop into this section.
Ring time.
Yeah. When I, Solomon, heard these things, I went into the temple of God, and praising him day and night, begged with all my soul that the demon might be delivered into my hands, that I might have authority over him. Then it happened that while I was praying to the God of heaven and earth, there was granted to me from the Lord Sabaoth, through the archangel Michael, a ring which had a seal engraved on precious stone. He said to me, Solomon, son of David, take the gift which the Lord God, the highest Sabaoth, has sent you. With it you shall imprison all the demons, both female and male, and with their help you shall build Jerusalem when you bear this seal of God.
Okay, so he is going to first imprison them and then use their labor.
Yeah.
With the power of this magical ring.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he was just asking about that one demon, right? The one that was causing him issues. What was his name again? Orios or something?
Yeah, it is Ornias.
Ornias, all right. So he was asking help with Ornias, and God's like, take this ring so you can control every demon, and they will build the temple for you. So he's going above and beyond. Although Ornias sounds like a dick.
So there's a little description here on this magical ring. On magical rings in general, see Papyri Grece Magicae, or the Greek magical papyrus.
Okay, so
right?
I'm guessing that this seal would probably be in the Lesser Key of Solomon, right? It had a lot of stuff.
Well, there's a little more here. It says, the connection of Solomon with a magical ring is first documented in Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews. The manuscripts of Testament of Solomon carry on the seal tradition. E.g., it is a pentalpha, a 31-letter word written in the second and third of a series of concentric circles, an engraving with O Lord our God, plus a group of Semitic-sounding names. The medieval manuscripts of Solomonic literature frequently contain primitive sketches of these seals. So,
Boy, does that sound like the demon circle.
That sounds like the demon circle.
it
Boy,
does
does it.
sound like the demon circle. So this ring probably looks very similar to that.
Okay.
Now we're in another subsection.
I don't think we still have that, do we?
The
Did
circle?
not throw that out.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we
I
still
kept
have
the
circle.
wheel and the pyramid.
All right. Oh,
There
yeah,
was
the pyramid.
No reason to destroy Milwaukee Atheist props for me.
Yeah, I know. The
we did-
pyramid
I did
was fun, though.
Reconstruction or whatever. I threw out a bunch of stuff. So
All right, we're in another section here. According to Solomon's instructions, the boy brings back the demon with the aid of the magical ring. Now I became so joyful that I continually sang hymns of praise to the God of heaven and earth and glorified him. The next day I ordered the child to come to me, and I gave the seal to him. Then I said to him, at the moment the demon appears to you, fling this ring into his chest and say to him, come, Solomon summons you. And come running back to me as fast as you can before he says anything that would frighten you.
Wow. So wait, hold on. So he's given this ring to control demons, and I guess part of that includes you have to yeet the ring into a demon, and then you can control it.
Yeah.
But what do you do when you remove it? Okay, I guess we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Now it happened at his usual time, the pesky demon Orios came like a flaming fire to take the little boy's pay, as was his custom. Now, there's a note here that says that demons occasionally appear as fire in Hellenistic literature.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff appears as fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like fire.
Well, yeah, like fire. I mean, angels have appeared in fire, not as fire, but they've appeared in fire. God appeared. Well, he didn't appear as fire, but he had that pillar of fire.
Right.
We haven't gotten, or no, we definitely have.
That was
had
in Exodus.
The burning bush in Exodus, yeah.
Yeah. Additionally, okay, it just references back to the first bit for Orios.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. According to Solomon's instructions to him, the little boy flung the ring into the chest of the demon and said to him, come, Solomon summons you, and started to take off running to Solomon as fast as he could go. But the demon screamed and said to the little boy, why have you done this? Remove the ring and give it back to Solomon, and I shall give you all the silver and gold of the earth. But the little boy replied, as the Lord God of Israel lives, I will never withstand you if I do not deliver you to Solomon. Then the little boy went and spoke to Solomon. King Solomon, I brought the demon to you just as you commanded me. Observe how he is standing bound in front of the gates outside, crying out with a great voice to give me all the silver and gold of the earth, so that I would not deliver him to you.
Wait, so he's not actually controlling the demon, but he rendered it immobile.
Yeah, he bound the demon. It has a note here that says, binding demons is a common theme in apocryphal and pseudepigraphical literature. The angel Raphael has the task of binding the demon Asmodeus and Tobit. Raphael was also commanded to bind Azazel hand and feet and cast him into the darkness in 1st Enoch, where he would eventually be judged. The fallen angels, described as stars and beasts, are bound presumably by the angels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Phanuel. The hosts of Azazel will be bound in the future, according to 1st Enoch, and Beliar will be bound by the new priest in the Testament of Levi. Also, demons are frequently bound and portrayed as such in art in the Aramaic incantation bowls.
Yeah, that's one of the... What's up?
I was going to say, continue your thing and then I'll say my thing.
Oh, that's all.
Oh, no, Lawrence.
Oh, I was going to mention about the Aramaic incantation bowls. That's also... This text shares a lot of themes with it, although they come a little bit later. They come in like the 6th century, I think. So they... but they do share a lot of themes with this text.
Okay. So I was going to say my theory before on the demon summoning. We can't summon demons now because they're all bound.
Yeah, that's totally why it didn't work.
Well,
yeah,
if you remember...
guys, if you believe in that garbage, then yeah.
In the rituals that are described in the Lesser Key of Solomon, there is a ring, but it's not used in this way. So it's more like a thing that you hold up to yourself in order to protect you from the demon, right? Also,
so it's a big item, not a ring on your finger.
No, it's a ring on your finger.
Oh, it's a ring on your finger. Okay.
Yeah, like if you summon, it has instructions that say like summoning certain demons causes a pungent odor to fill the air, but if you hold the ring up to your nose, then you won't be affected by it.
Oh.
And there's other things like that. Also, this binding demons thing. If you recall, the last prayer that's involved in the Lesser Key of Solomon during the demon summoning ritual, if they don't show up, is a threat to bind the demon and burn the seal of the demon, right? And that is supposed to be something that's so horrible for them that they would show up immediately, right? So
Which they didn't.
Right. So this is
What a
presumably
bummer.
a very bad state for like demons hate this.
Yeah. So you know what? I guess
Demons hate this one simple trick.
For
if you do this, demons
ya.
will hate you.
Satan doesn't want you to know. Click here now. Okay. So chapter 2. I'll give it to you at chapter 3.
Sounds good.
So the header for this part is Solomon interrogates the demon, learns his name and his activity, and by the power of the seal ring commands him to work on the temple. So if you remember the Lesser Key of Solomon, they show the demon's name in the book. They give it a symbol, and they describe the activity that it does. Like the one that we went for was supposed to help you bend trees.
Yeah, and you know what? We tried to bend some trees afterwards.
It did
Those
not work.
guys,
Did not.
You guys, you don't even know. It just took a really long time, but
Did it?
nothing
How's that
happened.
tree looking?
That's the same.
That's the same. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
No,
I
see,
can do it
it's-
before and after picture. And
It's slowly
Pretty
bending
impressive.
over the course of many centuries.
Wow, amazing. We're so powerful.
So, you know what? Maybe if we were like bonsai artists, then it would have come in handy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. All right, chapter 2. When I heard these things, I, Solomon, got up from my throne and saw the demon shuddering and trembling with fear. I said to him, "Who are you? What is your name?" The demon replied, "I am called Orios." I said to him, "Tell me, in which sign of the zodiac do you reside?"
Because, well, you know, they were pictured as houses, right? So
Second Enoch states that there's 12 signs of the zodiac that are in the above the seventh heaven.
man, yeah, lots of things say that.
But also, this
and
was
that's it. That's all they say
this
about
was
it. They don't
something
say anything
that
else.
we had to keep in mind when we did the demon summoning thing. We had to do it during a specific set of days, if you recall, because of the planetary associations that are written in the Lesser Key of Solomon. So that is something that carries over. The demon replied, "In Aquarius. I strangle those who reside in Aquarius because of their passion for woman whose zodiacal sign is Virgo."
So-
That explains everything.
This demon's like, "Hey, baby, what's your sign?"
Virgo.
Virgo, you're gonna die. Yeah.
Dude, you know, I had someone ask me that when they first met me, what my sign is,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What? Like, why does it matter?" First of all,
Oh, because these demons, look, if you were in Aquarius and she was in Virgo,
this is a dude.
oh, well then.
That means, well, maybe I should be flattered.
Yeah, you should. You should be super flattered. This is a very strange bit.
All right, so
like this demon specifically, this is what he does. All right.
he hates those in Aquarius that like those in Virgo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moreover, while in a trance, I undergo 3 transformations. Sometimes I'm a man who craves the bodies of effeminate boys, and when I touch them, they suffer great pain.
Oh, damn.
Sometimes I become a creature with wings, flying up to the heavenly regions.
Oh, but all angels can do that. We learned that from Abraham.
Yeah.
The apocalypse of Abraham. Yeah. They just they have wings.
Yeah. Finally,
And also, no, sorry. They took birds, right, and then flew up on them.
yeah, right. Finally, I assume the appearance of a lion. In addition, I am descended from an archangel of the power of God, but I am thwarted by Oriel, the archangel. So
This
there's
is a descendant of an archangel. Wow.
Yes, so he might be like the fallen angel.
Well, no, it's not.
Offspring or something, not specifically Lucifer, but like maybe like Belial or something. I don't know.
Well, it would have to be. Well, I mean, since it's supposed to be of an archangel, then because the thing is, the thing about the archangels is you never really get like a full story with them. You have like some angels that are named in the Bible, right?
Oh, those
and then
they're
You
always
have one
slinging around.
angel who eventually fights Satan, right? Or it's hinted that he's gonna fight Satan during Revelation.
Yeah. And you have references to some archangels in First Enoch.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a footnote here. 7 archangels are named in 1 Enoch 20 as Uriel over the world and over Tartarus, Raphael over the spirits of men, Raguel takes vengeance on the world of luminaries, Michael set over the best part of mankind and over chaos, Seraquel set over the spirits who sin in their spirit, Gabriel over paradise and the serpents and cherubim, and Remiel over those who rise. 1 Enoch 9:1 and 10:1. The 4 archangels that are prominent in the Testament of Solomon, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, are well attested together in Judaism in general, and magic in particular. Uriel is probably Suriel, mentioned in Origen Contra, as bull-like. In magic materials, he is the lord of the 2nd or 3rd heaven. So this Oriel is probably Uriel, who's probably Suriel.
Okay.
That also explains everything.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll continue on here. When I, Solomon, heard the archangel's name mentioned, I honored and glorified the God of heaven and earth. After I sealed the demon with my seal, I ordered him into the stone quarry to cut for the temple stones, which had been transported by way of the Arabian Sea and dumped along the seashore. Now, the Babylonian Talmud tells the story that Solomon sought the coveted stone-cutting worm, the shamir, to help build the temple. After binding a male and female demon, Solomon sent Benaiah to get the shamir from the prince of demons, Ashmedai. To bind him, Benaiah was given, among other things, a chain and a ring, each engraved with the divine name.
And I think Ashmedai is supposed to be
Asmodeus?
Yeah, Asmodeus.
Yeah, probably. But being terrified to touch iron, he said to me, I beg you, King Solomon, let me have a measure of freedom that I shall bring up all the demons. Yeah, so there is some folklore that says evil demons fear iron.
Well, I guess Supernatural had something right.
Yeah. Since he did not want to be subject to me, I prayed that the archangel Oriel would come to help me. Immediately, I saw the archangel Oriel descending to me from heaven. Now there's a new subsection. The archangel Oriel aids Solomon in overcoming Ornias. The angel commanded sea monsters to arise out of the sea, and he withered up their species and cast his fate to the ground.
Wait, so did the archangel just destroy all sea monsters?
That's right.
Or is it...
Their species could mean their part or their limb that is a member on their body. Mm-hmm. And his fate could mean his part. In either sense, could refer to Oriel, whose fate is mentioned in the next, versus Onias, on the other hand. Others suggest that angels and demons both have destinies, which determine their powers from all eternity. And this is an idea found in the Arabian Nights. His is therefore left intentionally ambiguous.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the sea monsters named as Behemoth and Leviathan in 4th Ezra.
Yeah.
What? No way.
But, yeah, this is pretty wild. Oriel just, pops up and then
Summons
sea monsters and then causes either their species or parts of their bodies to wither up.
And it's not even
Their
necessarily
members.
the
Oh.
and it's not even necessarily the sea monsters because it's left ambiguous, right?
Yeah. In this same way, he also subjected the great demon Orios to cut stones and to bring to completion the construction of the temple, which I, Solomon, was in the process of building. Again, I glorified the God of heaven and earth, and I commanded Orios to come near according to his fate. Then I gave him the seal and said, "Go and bring here to me the prince of demons."
Prince of demons, is that going to be Zazel, maybe?
It could be. There's other manuscripts omit this, so
Oh no.
it's a bit much. But yeah, I guess demons do like their seals, right?
Yeah.
That's something that carries over into the grimoire tradition.
Seals are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the end of chapter 2. I'm gonna grab a refill on coffee.
All right, you can do that. So now we're gonna hop into chapter 3 here. No. The prince of demons is Beelzebul or Beelzebub. That's also another name there. Although I think it's been argued that Beelzebul is the original name for Beelzebub. I think. Yeah.
I'd never even heard that argument.
All right. So yeah. So Orios the demon brings Beelzebul, the prince of demons, to Solomon with the help of the magical ring. So I'm still wondering why they. Okay, so they got Orios under control, and then they were like, take the ring we're using to control you, and use it to control some, this other demon, effectively. So anyways, yeah, chapter 3 here. So Orios took the ring and went to Beelzebul. And of course, the Greek Beelzebul, that's the Beelzebul, is a New Testament name for the prince of demons by whose authority Jesus was accused by the Pharisees of exorcising demons. In Matthew 10:25, Jesus is called Beelzebul. The Hebrew Baal-zebub is probably a contemptuous corruption of a Philistine god. Its obvious meaning being Lord of the Flies. Septuagint manuscripts have Beelzebul, perhaps referring to Ugaritic Alian Baal, or Baal Prince. All right, let's continue on here. Yeah, and went to Beelzebul and said to him, "Come, Solomon summons you." But Beelzebul said to him, "Tell me, who is the Solomon of whom you speak?"
So I do want to note, I have the description from the Lesser Key of Solomon, not for Orios, but Orios.
Okay.
Right? And this is presumably the same thing, right? It says the 59th spirit is Orios, or Orios. He is a great marquis and appears in the form of a lion. That's in there. Riding upon a horse, mighty and strong, with a serpent's tail. And he holds in his right hand 2 great serpents hissing. His office is to teach the virtues of the stars, so astrological knowledge, which presumably, I guess, he did deliver that to Solomon there when he told him about those in Aquarius pining for those in Virgo.
I suppose. Yeah.
And to know the mansions of the planets, which would be above the zodiac in Second Enoch.
Yeah.
And how to understand their virtues. He also transforms men and gives, a number of things. Also favor with friends and with foes. So I guess that fits.
Straight up favor.
It fits to this.
It does fit this because he's giving favor to Beelzebub or
Beelzebul.
Beelzebul.
Whatever, yeah. So Beelzebul is asking, like, who's the Solomon guy? Then Orios flung the ring into the chest of Beelzebul and replied, "Solomon the king summons you." Beelzebul cried out like one who was burned from a great burning flame of fire. And when he had gotten up, he followed Orios under coercion and came to me. Okay. This is the weirdest ring. So, okay. You can control someone. You can control a demon with this ring, right? You control them. They go do the thing that they have to do. But apparently, they can also use the ring's power?
They could just take the ring and throw it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now
if
that
demanded to.
So at first he needed it to bind this demon. But then once he bound the demon, he got the name of the archangel who controls that demon. Now with that archangel, he can control that demon, and he no longer has to bind the demon using the ring. So he's using the demon to use the ring to bind a different demon.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a great strat. I'm going to copy this for our campaign if we ever get to play it again.
All right. So anyways, yeah, so he goes up and follows. He followed Orios under coercion and came to me. When I saw the prince of demons approaching, I glorified God and said, "Blessed are you, Lord God Almighty, who has granted your servant Solomon wisdom, the attendant of your thrones, and who has placed in subjection all the power of the demons." So now Solomon will interrogate Beelzebul.
Do it.
Then I interrogated him and said, "Tell me, who are you?" Well, he obviously already knew that it was the prince of demons. The demon said, "I am Beelzebul, the ruler of demons." I demanded that without interruption he sit next to me and explain the manifestations of the demons. Then he promised to bring to me all the unclean spirits bound. Again, I glorified the God of heaven and earth, continually giving thanks to him. So now I guess Beelzebul will go and bind every other demon.
Yeah.
Because he was hacked by this demon.
You should have put up a little bit of a fight, Beelzebul. Jeez.
Man, this ring is so powerful.
Yeah, it's a super powerful magic ring, and he is doing exactly what he told Solomon that he would do. He's going and getting the rest of the demons.
Yeah, he is. That's true. So now on to chapter 4. The title is Solomon Interrogates. Hold on, I can read this. Anascalis. Yeah, Anascalis, I guess, and learns of her activity. So we have one of those female demons here.
Oh, what's her name?
Onoscolaser, or it's spelled Onoskelis. That's I mean the Greek is Onoscalis. So that's what I'm going with. I now asked the demon if there were any female demons. When he replied that there were, I said that I wanted to see one.
Uh-oh. Solomon.
Solomon, go to horny jail. Beelzebul went off and showed me Anascalis. Apparently the name means she... Oh my God. Okay. All right. So the name means she with the ass's legs. So she has donkey legs. I'm guessing. The term was used to describe Empusa, a hobgoblin able to assume various shapes. Okay, then. McCown says she is probably the Greek female demon, but her manner of birth is found also in Jewish sources. Oh, yeah, I guess she's a satyr. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a satyr. Anyways. So yeah, her body was... So Beelzebul went off and showed me Anascalis, who had a very beautiful form.
All right.
Her body was that of a woman with a fair complexion, but her legs were those of a mule.
So I think this is a demon that's listed in the Lesser Key of Solomon. I'm trying to find it right now. There's a bunch of them that I need to scroll through.
Gotcha.
But Beelzebub is not. So
Fair. Well, that's the king.
yeah.
Anyways, when she came to me, I said to her, "Tell me who you are." She responded, "My name is Anascalis. I am a spirit which has been made into a body. I recline in a den of the earth. I make my home in caves. However, I have a many-sided character. Sometimes I strangle men. Sometimes I pervert them from their true natures. Most of the time, my habitats are cliffs, caves, and ravines." This sounds like a dating app.
Mhm.
I like long walks on the beach, strangling men. You know, God, what was that serial killer's name?
I don't know.
Eileen
Eileen
Warnos?
Warnos?
Yeah. So yeah, we have this spirit that has been made into a body, which is interesting. Didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Anyways, frequently
Well, that is something that happened in Second Enoch.
that a spirit was made into a body.
Yeah, that God took the invisible spiritual things and made them visible and material.
Oh, in Second Enoch, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
and
right.
he does that with a couple of different ones.
Yeah, I
but-
guess effectively, yeah. All right. Frequently, I also associate with men who think of me as a woman.
Oh.
Well,
Are you?
Solomon seems to think so from the passages beforehand.
Mhm.
So, well, I guess he said her body was that of a woman, so never mind. Anyways, I also associate with men who think of me as a woman, especially with those whose skin is honey-colored. For we are of the same constellation.
Oh, we have more astrology.
Yeah, so apparently, Anascalis is referring to the constellation Capricorn, the goat.
Oh.
Which-
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is the 10th sign of the zodiac. The ancients identified Capricorn with the god Pan, the god of forests and fields. Of course, Pan being the satyr.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, then.
Well, he's like a goat man god.
Oh, man.
Right? So
Yeah.
he also dies.
Bummer.
Yeah.
It is also true that they worship my star secretly and openly. They do not know what they deceive themselves and excite me to be an evildoer all the more. For they want to obtain gold by remembering me, but I grant little to those who seriously worship me. Wow, ungrateful bitch.
No, she's
Have a nickel.
She's not interested in granting things to people.
Yeah. They seriously worship her. Next, I asked her how she came into being. She said, "I was generated from an unexpected voice, which is called a voice of the echo of a black heaven emitted in matter."
I'm sorry.
What does that mean?
Huh? Are we in an anime all of a sudden? Ruben, what are all these sci-fi terms?
Here's an answer to that question. When I asked, "What does it mean?" the meaning is uncertain.
Oh,
That's the no. There's more though, so I'm going to continue.
okay. Repeat that sentence.
Great. So he asked her how she came into being, and she responded with, "I was generated from an unexpected voice, which is called a voice of the echo of a black heaven, emitted in matter." So I'm going to read.
I mean, the creation through vocalization is a thing that does pop up biblically.
Yes.
But the echo of a black heaven emitted in matter.
I'm so interested now.
This is
I'm
good
like
word
hardcore
salad.
interested. Yes, it might be word salad, but it also sounds like if they ever talked about what this meant, I'd love to know.
So the term translated black means lead. Or I guess this probably just says lead, actually. They're spelled exactly the same way, so fuck
Maybe
off.
it just means the lower heavens.
Either
I
way,
don't know.
or means lead. The manuscripts attempt various explanations. Coney Bear conjectures ordure and suggests an analogy between hoekos. Well, it says voice, but it would be the voice. And the daughter voice
Okay,
in Jewish literature,
I have an idea here.
which refers to God's voice.
Remember how the heavens have different metals associated with them?
Did they have different metals?
Yeah, the 7 layers do at least. Like it goes, gold is the highest.
The different value things. Yeah.
Lead was below all of them. Lead was always considered the most worthless.
Was lead even
the
on
lead
there?
Heaven, or the
It's
black
an
heaven.
alchemical thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lead is an impure metal, which is why the goal of the Philosopher's Stone is to turn lead into gold. It's like taking something that's extremely impure and turning it into the most pure.
Yes,
right?
that's kind of the whole idea. But also, think about it that way. If it's an echo of the worst heaven, then, she's evil. I mean, that's another way of saying they're an incarnation of evil, an unexpected incarnation of evil.
So she was unexpectedly made from a voice from this evil heaven. Is that what we're going with right now?
Yeah, so it would be like, I guess somebody spoke them into being, right?
Well, I mean, spoken into being is one thing, sure.
In the lead heaven, or in the echo of the lead heaven, meaning they're like aligned to evil, because that place is evil, is my guess. It's just throwing it out there. Could be like pre-hell stuff.
Okay, that would be an interesting one. Yeah, from the black heaven. That's interesting.
So I did see her name associated with the Lesser Key of Solomon, but I do not see her listed under it.
Interesting.
Well, so the thing is, yeah, a lot of things are created out of voices, biblically speaking, and even extra biblically. So that one's not new, but I guess I don't have really a better explanation for the black heaven. So
I like your translation of lead heaven.
Well,
that did get me on some interesting sidetrack. I hope that might be relevant.
yeah,
This
Useful.
might be, depending on what time period this is actually from.
I just don't remember.
I'm sure
lead being
you
listed.
recall from other sources the idea of the black sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might be related, but it really depends
On the time period.
what time this is from.
Yeah, like I think that it is earlier. Like I think that it's I mean, I guess after reading through the works, I guess it would be kind of hard to tell when it's from, honestly. But because the compilation could be different than the parts individually, right? So it would be kind of hard to tell because there's not really that much that goes into it. Although that's an interesting project potentially.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, she was created out of this. I said to her, "By what heavenly body do you travel?" She replied, "By the full moon, because by the moon I pass over more things." Then I said, "What angel thwarts you?" She responded, "One that is also in you, king." Now, because I thought these remarks were meant in ridicule, I commanded a soldier to strike her. But she cried out in a loud voice and said, "I say to you, king, by God's wisdom, I have been entrusted to your power." Okay.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not lying.
Yeah, but also she
Like, I can't lie. I've been entrusted to your power.
Well, yeah, I get
That's
that.
my guess.
But like she's obviously under their control here. Although it's interesting that we didn't really see the ring used here.
I don't
No,
think he needs it anymore.
Yeah, I guess we don't need it, right? Because the
It's a tool.
Beelzebul is gonna
tasks, and he leads the demon, and the demon in charge said, "Hey, all other demons follow this guy.
I suppose.
He's got a big ring on me, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But like, does it work by that weird transitive property?
I don't know. If you take over God, do you lead angels?
I don't know. Do you?
This is just another hypothetical. I don't know.
It's unknown.
Yeah, it's unknown.
I don't know.
They're making the assumption that it would. Like, if there's a takeover, I mean, you would think that there would still be like factions and stuff, right? All right. Anyway, Anascalis compelled to spin hemp for the construction ropes. All right. That's the title of the next section here. It's a short section. So I uttered the name of the Holy One of Israel and commanded her to spin the hemp for the ropes used in the construction of the temple of God. She was sealed and bound in such a way that she was made powerless, so that she had to stand day and night to spin the hemp. So now they're
It's a
working.
hemp spinner.
Yeah, now they're working on the actual temple here.
Mm-hmm.
The recruitment process has begun.
Yes, it has.
All right. So now we're on to chapter 5.
Give me chapter 5.
Okay.
I'll read it.
Here you go.
Yes.
Yeah, on to chapter 5. Hey, if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't, all that good stuff. It helps out. And, I think this is a very interesting book.
Yes.
It's kind of ridiculous.
What the hell did I get on my finger?
Is it blood?
No, it's not blood. It's just red.
We were moving some boards around. Do you remember those boards I was going to make a shelf out of? And I had red alignment, like cord that like you snap and it leaves red chalk.
Oh.
That's red chalk.
Well, it's not rubbing off.
No, it gets stuck on your fingers. You're going to have to wash your hands.
This is obnoxious.
Oh, no. Wash your hands.
You're going to
Oh, my
have to
God.
wash your hands. Good news, it won't get stuck on everything. But the point is that it gets stuck to one thing and then it doesn't come off
Okay.
very easily.
Well, I'll have to deal with that
I
later.
apologize. I had that stuck on my hand like the other day, too, when we moved those boards up.
Yeah, I was just like,
It's not
what
blood.
the hell? Have I been bleeding all over the place or
Yeah,
something? But
yeah.
no, apparently it's red chalk.
It's red construction chalk. Sorry.
All right. Chapter 5, Solomon interrogates Asmodeus and learns of his activity. Now, this is the big dude.
Asmodeus.
Yeah, and Asmodeus is made mention of in the Lesser Key of Solomon.
Yeah, no, of course, the big man in town is Beelzebul, right? But Asmodeus has a whole thing for himself.
It'd be if you were mentioning factions close to a contender for Beelzebul.
Yeah.
Beelzebul.
I mean, historically speaking, yeah, absolutely.
I like Beelzebub. I'm so used to that.
Well, you know what?
It just sounds like an anime knockoff. Just throwing it out there.
So, in the Asmodeus is mentioned in a number of places. Malleus Malefic Harem is mentioned. The Dictionary Infernal is mentioned. Lesser Key of Solomon. So in the Lesser Key of Solomon, it describes Asmodeus as he has a seal of gold. He's listed as number 32. He is strong, powerful, appears with 3 heads. The first is like a bull, the second like a man, and the third like a ram. The tail of a serpent, and from his mouth issues flames of fire. He sits on an infernal dragon, holds a lance with a banner, and commands 72 legions of inferior spirits.
You know,
Yeah,
he
so
seems like a pretty fun boss encounter for a Dungeons and Dragons
Oh my God.
thing. No, like, Lawrence, can you imagine building like a dungeon with his legion and him at the end?
I get it.
So well described.
Sure. I just don't know why he keeps bringing up D&D.
This D&D.
Chris has a very one-track mind.
Yeah.
No, it also is very fantastical.
Yeah.
That it could be.
There's more fantastical subjects than just you could talk about Tolkien. You could talk about any kind of mythology worldwide.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very
Most
Tolkien-esque.
cartoons.
I do talk about a lot of
Most
things.
Anime.
I did bring up anime a lot today too.
Yeah.
So, dude, I talk about a variety of things. Sorry, it's the same two things today. We'll talk about different things next time. God, I'm the random commentator. Let me do what I want. I brought up GURPS already today. Okay,
Yeah, not on stream.
I don't have to. All right, bye.
Well, you can. Anyways, in Tobit, Asmodeus is the evil demon who slays the 7 husbands of Sarah before the marriages are consummated.
Yeah. He really caused some issues there.
Yeah. Also, there's in the Lesser Key of Solomon, he's called Asmodei. Some rabbinic sources call him Ashmedai. So different names, same dude. Chapter 5. I commanded another demon he brought me, and he, Beelzebul, brought me the evil demon Asmodeus, bound. I asked him, "Who are you?" He scowled at me and said, "And who are you?"
He's got an attitude.
Yeah. Oh, man. I said to him, "You dare answer so arrogantly when you have been punished like this?" He continued to give forth the same look and said to me, "How should I answer you? You're the son of a man, but although I was born of a human mother, I am the son of an angel."
Oh, so he's not a Nephilim.
Yeah.
No, Nephilim would be the next one. So it went giant first and then Nephilim.
No, Nephilim, then giant.
I think he's right. It went Nephilim and then giant.
I'm pretty sure giant was the first
No, it's
offspring.
Nephilim, then giant.
Nephilims were bigger than giants.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go check because I'm pretty sure that was the thing that confused me during the reading was why. Okay, fine.
I guarantee you, Nephilims
We've talked
are
about this like
the
12
offspring
times
of
at
angels
least.
and humans.
Mind you, people, there's been ones that were the other way around and wrong compared to what we were used to, at least. Moving on.
Yeah. It is impossible for one of heavenly origin to speak an arrogant word to one of earthly origin. My constellation is like an animal which reclines in its den in heaven. Some men call me the great bear, but others the offspring of a dragon. So there's the dragon in the Lesser Key of Solomon that he rides. Also, the greater bear is the 3rd largest constellation. 7 of its stars forms the Big Dipper. So
They're good old Ursa Major.
yeah.
It's like that one and then Orion that I can usually pick out pretty easily.
Well, there you go.
Aside from that, I'm like, I don't know, man. They're just some stars.
You can't find the Little Dipper?
I have issues with that one because I know it's like weirdly reversed.
It's just
the end of it.
smaller than the big one, man. It's just like it.
Well,
Anyways, moreover, a smaller constellation accompanies my constellation, for the high position and throne of my father is always in the sky. So do not ask me so many things, Solomon, for eventually your kingdom will be divided. The glory of yours is temporary. You have us to torture for a little while, then we shall disperse among human beings again, with the result that we shall be worshipped as gods, because men do not know the names of the angels who rule over us. When I, Solomon, heard these things,
I think Solomon's gonna try to find that out though.
I bound him with greater care. Then I ordered him to be flogged with a rod and defend himself by stating his name and reporting his activity. The demon stated, "I am the renowned Asmodeus. I cause the wickedness of men to spread throughout the world. I am always hatching plots against newlyweds." There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I mar the beauty of virgins and cause their hearts to grow cold. I said to him, "Is this all that you do?" He spoke again. "I spread madness about women through the stars, and I have often committed a rash of murders." That's pretty hardcore, man.
This guy is a felon.
Yeah, I don't see him as being very useful for this temple building project.
So I held him there as a guard.
So I'm just quickly looking back here. So this is the translation Erdman's, although we should probably check the Hermenia thing, but I think that one's actually at my place. Yeah. So the translation here in Erdman's about the giants and whatnot. So the women became pregnant by them and bore to them gigantic offspring of 3 kinds. Giants were born to them, and the Nephilim were born to them on the earth, and the Eliud were their offspring.
The Nephilim are mysterious beings or people in the Hebrew Bible that are large and strong. The word Nephilim is loosely translated as giants in some Bibles, but left untranslated in others.
Okay, but this is referencing both giants and Bibles.
Actually, I think
and Bibles and
they're
Nephilim.
at the same tier is what Lawrence is suggesting, right?
What I'm saying is that
They're
at
the
least
same
from what we learned in Enoch.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like in this translation, it looks like they're of the same tier. In the translation from, then what's it called? From Hermenia. I mean, I guess I must have misread it or something. I guess I must have misinterpreted it. I'd have to check again. So from what we are reading in Erdman's, it looks like it's one way, but I remember it being a different way. I could just be remembering it wrong, but I'm looking at it right now, is the thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at a number of different sources. So the Book of Jubilees describes Nephilim as being evil giants.
Okay.
The Book of Enoch describes them as being very large. And says that their descendants are the Eliod.
Okay, so in that case, if it was in that order, then it would go giants, then Nephilim, and then Eliud.
Or that these are just references to different like breeds.
Yeah.
That also.
Like giants and Nephilim might be the same thing, or giants and Nephilim are contemporary to each other.
Right.
But I could have sworn that
Dolphins and whales.
one of them was the descendant of others.
That's what I thought too. And
we all thought that.
Yeah.
But as you know, there's that whole thing where the universe changes occasionally.
Chris is going crazy.
Many
guys.
resources
Going crazy.
just refer to giants as a kind of Nephilim.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Or they say that
Maybe the term's broader than we thought.
Nephilim and giants are that the Nephilim is the race of the giants.
Okay.
Right. So
Fair enough. And this guy's a half giant, basically. Then
well, no.
his mother is a human, and his parent is a giant.
Is an angel.
Well,
No, it says that it's an angel.
oh, so he's just straight up a giant or Nephilim.
Or Nephilim, yeah, I guess. Depending on how you're dividing it, yeah, I guess.
We know he's big.
Yeah, he's huge.
yeah, Genesis 6:1 through 4. There's much debate as to the identity of the sons of God.
Yeah.
It's some people's opinion that the sons of God were fallen angels who mated with human females or possessed human males who then mated with human females.
See, that'd be a really weird way to put sons of God, because considering all the other people that have been called sons of God,
That's just not the way we've been
like
using
it would just be really weird there.
That these unions resulted in offspring, the Nephilim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nephilim are descendants of angels. It's what
I mean,
it comes down to.
Yeah. In a way.
Giants are Nephilim.
Oh, okay. We
Same
can go with that
thing.
too.
And it's not necessarily that they're huge. Some sources also refer to them as being like heroes, right? So like
big in personality.
There's resources that list Gilgamesh as being a Nephilim, right? It's not because he's so huge. It's because he's like,
No, he was real big.
yeah, he's a big guy. He's not like 50 feet tall. He's just a big guy.
Big, strong boy.
Yeah. Strong man. Anyways, this Asmodeus guy. I guess he's just an asshole, huh?
You know what? I'm happening to enjoy his attitude here.
Okay, now we're in a new section. It's called Asmodeus thwarted by the angel Raphael, as well as smoking liver and gall of a fish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in Tobit.
Exactly.
This is exactly what happened. Then I adjured him by the name of the Lord Sabaoth, Asmodeus, fear God, and tell me by which angel you are thwarted. The demon said, Raphael, the one who stands before God, but also a liver and a gall of a fish smoking on coals of charcoal drives me away. I asked him again, saying, do not hide anything from me, for I am Solomon, son of David. Tell me the name of the fish you fear.
What if the Testament of Solomon was kind of like, it is an original work, but it's a huge compilation of,
like, a greatest hits album?
yeah, like so like if they read something about a demon in one text, they took it and then they turned it into this dialogue about it.
Yeah, that might be the case.
Yeah, all right.
Tell me the name.
That's just conjecture that I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there.
Tell me the name of the fish you fear. He replied, it's called the sheet fish. It is found in the rivers of Assyria and is hatched only there. I'm also found in those parts. Why he would be found specifically in the area where his like kryptonite is, I don't know. But
I like being defeated, just a defeatist attitude all the way around.
But
hang out near my weakest points.
The sheet fish is a large catfish. So.
Oh, okay.
Those are everywhere.
Yeah, you can just find those. Now we're in another section. Asmodeus required to mold clay for the vessels of the temple.
Huh.
That's not one of his talents, but okay.
No. You'd figure, aces in their places. If you're really good at something, you should do that.
Lawrence.
But what he's really good at is marring
We're
the
gonna
beauty
make
of virgins and spreading madness about women through the stars and committing rashes of murders.
Aren't we all?
Yes,
Oh,
Lawrence.
yeah.
Pro ultimate frisbee player. That's what we're gonna do for you.
Yeah, totally.
Everything else is banned. You get cursed if you do anything else, and you got to go for that now.
That's what I got to do.
Wow.
That's what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make a whole load of money.
I said
they'll
to him,
actually pay me to get off the team.
I'm sure. I said to him, is there not something else about you, Asmodeus?
Gosh.
He said to me, the power of God, which binds me with unbreakable bonds by his seal, knows what I have related to you is true. I beg you, King Solomon, do not condemn me to water. Water.
Well, probably because that's where the fish are.
Demons often prefer desert regions.
That's true. And
no wonder we couldn't get anything by Lake Michigan.
Yeah. Jesus condemns the Gerasene demoniacs to the swine, who then stampede down the cliff into the sea.
Yeah, and I mean, like Lilith were found in desert areas. Then that's just where demons
the Lilu
dwelled. Yeah,
Lili too.
All those.
Yep. But I smiled and replied, as the Lord, the God of my fathers, lives, you shall have irons to wear, and you shall mold clay for all the vessels of the temple, eliminating the cost of the mold. Wow. He's just enslaved this poor demon, man. So this iron to wear. Ornias is said to fear iron. Unbinding, there's a bit. In the Aramaic incantation bowls from the 6th century, Babylonian primitive art occasionally shows the demon wearing irons. An Aramaic incantation bowl reads, bound is the bewitching Lilith, who haunts the house of Zakoi, with a belt of iron on her pate. Bound is the bewitching Lilith with a peg of iron in her nose. Bound is the bewitching Lilith with pincers of iron in her mouth. Bound is the bewitching Lilith who haunts the house of Zakoi with a chain of iron on her neck, bound is the bewitching Lilith with fetters of iron on her hands.
Just all the stuff that...
a lot of iron.
Yeah, all the stuff that is possibly needed to stop demons.
Is
all right
Lilith
there.
just Iron Maiden now? Jeez.
She
Wow,
is an
nice.
Iron Maiden, yes. So then I ordered 10 water jars be made available, and I commanded him to be encircled by them. Though he complained bitterly, the demon carried out the things which he had been commanded. Asmodeus did this because he also had knowledge of the future. So I, Solomon, glorified God, who gave me this authority. Then, taking the liver and the gall of the fish, along with the branch of storax, the spike at the butt end of a spear shaft. I lit a fire under Asmodeus because he was powerful, and his voice was thwarted, as well as a tooth full of venom. It says about that, another manuscript has, and with words full of the way of malice.
Oh, okay. Got it. Tooth of venom. Okay.
Yeah. And that is the end of our reading for the day. How are you liking the Testament of Solomon so far?
I love it. This is great.
This is way cooler than any of the other books we've
This
read,
has been
except
the most
some parts of Enoch.
interesting in terms of what they could have implied by some of these cryptic things, like I was created from an echo in the matter of
The black heaven.
the black heaven, or the lead heaven. Oh, it's pretty dope.
It is
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'm enjoying it.
Then you get to deal with real major demons that are, of course, talked about in other things. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, so it seems like he went up that ladder very quick, but now he's just kind of like, okay, so
He's just stomping demons, man.
yeah, and the thing is, like, he's
Slaving demon kind.
just this is the one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
I was told Tolkien was
It's
biblical.
one ring
Oh.
to bind them.
Yeah.
Oh, this is even better.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed the stream today, be sure to give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, neighbors. You can find us on Patreon, where there's tons of great things. You can be on the show with us if you wish to be. You can be entered in t-shirt giveaways. If you don't want to be entered into a giveaway, you can just click that little tag right there that is going to link you to our Teespring or our Spring.
Yeah, whatever they're calling themselves now. You can just get a t-shirt that way. There's our unforgivable one. Let's see what else we have. We have an Amazon wish list. Links to all this are in the description, by the way. On our wish list, we have a lot of books. You could add books to this table. You could get books for future long form projects. That we'll read them and use them as sources. We read them so you don't have to. So that's kind of the whole point of that.
Yep. And there's also Facebook and Twitter, which are free.
Completely free to follow us on those platforms.
And I think that's all the shilling we need to do. So until next time, we will see you
on Sunday. I forget what we're doing on Sunday, but it's going to be Sunday.
It's going to be the one that